we're teaching the dogs to do a seesaw. And when you start doing this, it's sort of like getting the dog to go up on a place target. They don't want to do it. It doesn't matter if they don't want to do it, they have to do it. Gus would be considered an unconfident dog, meaning he's had issues the whole time, but we make sure and send the correct message that no, you have to do it. I have a puppy here, a cattle dog, that will do the seesaw. It took, a matter of seconds to get him to do it. Tracer. Good. Here. Walk the plank. Here. Good girl. Pretty awesome, dude. You want to go back? Here, come here. Go back. Come on, here. All right, here's my dog, Brewster. Now, he's not the best at it, but, I can get him to do it, right? See, he's falling off, but he's going to do it. And he gets right back up. See what I'm saying with, Gus? Yeah, he's jumping off, but he also will go do it. Watch this. We're talking about, I don't know, what is this? Like a period of, less than a minute to get him to do it? He's still jumping off, but he's, this is in real time. This is the first time this dog's done it. So, he wants to jump off, but, I'm sort of doing the same thing that I tried with Gus, that I do with Gus later, but we don't have the problem that we have with Gus. I mean, this dog will get on the thing and understands that, he can do it. He can do it. He's just super excited. See, he's figuring it out. I'm bitching him out. I'm like, you better do it, dude. You better do it. So, here he's getting up. He's gonna do it. See, so now he's gonna kick back, and there you go. There you go. So we'll build on this, and it won't be a problem. It's not a problem for any of the dogs. The only dog that really is a problem was Gus. Gus was, none of the dogs have the issues that Gus has. See, you'll see what I'm saying. Brewster is, I call this sort of, he's compliant. He just, isn't used to doing it. So less than a minute, he's figured it out. This is not a problem. It's, this is not a problem. We'll call this successful. Here, we're going to go do it one more time. Okay, so we'll walk him up there. He's doing it. We're going to do it one last time, because when you start doing this, start getting success, don't just quit. Make sure that the dog really understands. It's no big deal. And Brewster does. This is Marty. He's filthy. He rolls in the dirt. He's a filthy little pig. But look at this. This is like a little tiny dog. He's doing it. Marty's a pandemic dog. He's stuck here from Canada. He's great. I love Marty. He's going to do it. It's not a problem. Marty is not a coward, that's for sure. He's not flipped out. I've been working with him for a while, so any issues that he's had, he's much more stable, that's for sure. But still, if he didn't want to do it, I put the leash on him to make sure we're getting success. But see how he's figuring this out? He'll go up there without all the drama that Gus does. That's just ridiculous. Now, here's Tonka. This is my dog, and he'll do it, but he needs work on this to do it slower. Because watch this. He wants to run up it. But he's not fearful of anything. If I tell him to do it, he'll do it. Tonka probably has, as far as center of gravity goes, he's probably the tallest. But see, he'll do it, no problem. It's not a problem, it's Tonka. But if I tell Tonka to do something, he's definitely going to do it. Look at him. Now here we have Billy the hedgehog. Billy the Hedgehog was given to me by Sherry Lucas years ago. I love Billy. Billy's going to do it. I think we try and do it without a leash with Billy. No, he's being a douche. I'm going to put a leash on him. He'll do it. Eventually do it without a leash for sure. But, so I'm going to make sure I get success here. I'm going to walk him up here. Look at Billy's feet. He sort of gets the fulcrum, but he jumped off. This is not a problem. He's doing it. He's being compliant. Within a few sessions, we can have Billy doing it off leash. You know, Billy just likes to work. You know, he's fairly compliant. You know, all the dogs are pretty compliant. Gus is the one that, see, Billy's running back on this. This is the first time. I think Katya had him on here once, but this is the first time I've had him on here. And see, he's ready to run, which that's not really what we want. But he's picking up on this. He's picked up on the fulcrum. So that's Billy. And here we have Toto, who's already doing it off leash. It's cattle dog. It's cattle dog. They're like, here, I believe Katya had Toto climbing trees and stuff when she was real young. Cattle dogs are sort of fearless. But Gus won't do it. But Gus has to do it. And I'm going to show you how to do it, because I'll tell you something. If you're going to try and do this at home, you probably have a dog that's going to give you a refusal. And the one thing that I'll say that's very important is you have to send that message, no, you're going to do it, dog, right? So I tried it on this height because a puppy can do it, Tonka can do it, all the you know, multiple dogs can do the seesaw. Gus has issues though, like he wouldn't put his head in a milk crate to take an object out. It's like afraid of objects. So this is a healthy thing for him to learn. So I'll put Gus on the seesaw and I'll show you what I mean. Come on, buddy. Now you can see that Gus really isn't into it. We tried doing this yesterday and it was a lot of resistance. He's sort of gets barn sour easily. He does. It's just like, see, even just a little bit of movement on it, he flips him out. He, you know, trying to get him to do a reverse retrieve was, you know, he's afraid, for lack of a better word, of the receptacle that you put the object in. Gus won't do the one that's high up, so what we're going to do is we're going to build him up to it. I have a plank down here that's lower, and I'll get him to do this first. If you have a dog like this, you can make the dog more confident, but you have to have patience and you have to just keep working with the dog. If you just think like, oh, the dog can't do it, your dog is going to be a mess, and that's a fact. You're going to make Gus do this, but he's not going to be able to do it maybe today, but he might be able to do it tomorrow or the next day. The point that I'm trying to make is you never console a frightened dog. Don't ever do that. That is the biggest mistake that people make. It's frightened. You're not helping. It's having an irrational fear of something, and by you going, oh, poor baby, using some kind of tone like that, you're telling it to be frightened because it's like a pleasing tone to the dog. It is. This is accomplished when dogs are puppies. You send in the wrong message to the dog as a puppy, and then if you don't listen, there's nothing wrong with Gus. There isn't. Gus, just for now on, like, you know, you just don't let the dog, you know, flip out like this. And if the dog flips out about anything, you sort of just hold your ground. You don't use heavy pressure. That'll make it worse. So to get him to do the seesaw, we're going to try a bunch of different things. The first thing is a plank, and there's like a rock underneath it. See if we can get him to walk on that. See, it's just a little bit of movement, and I'm not doing it. You know, it's just, you know, it's ridiculous. But if you have a dog that's like this, you're not gonna help them by consoling them. Now, I sort of use pleasing tones at a point. encourage him to get up on stuff. I'm moving the camera here just so you can get a better view of what's going on. And this plank here doesn't, this shouldn't be any big deal for it's not a big deal for 99% of the dogs. But it is for Gus. That doesn't mean that he's not going to do it. So we're gonna try it again. And we haven't given up. We haven't given up on this. He's still like being sort of, it's ridiculous. So I'm not done here. I'm still like, I'm not at the point where I'm going to back away from this because there's no reason that he can't do this. But there's a point where you're like, okay, I got to change and try something different. And that's what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to try this, which is, you see what the fulcrum is now is it's a flat cast iron frying pan. And I'm going to try and walk him up on that. See, he's very resistant. He just, So it didn't work. So what I'm going to do is train him to just walk on the plank on the ground. And we have to do this for a while. See, he doesn't even want to do that. I'm not calling the dog a pussy because that's not that's not it. That's not what this is about. But he is, he's like, he has irrational fear of objects. Like I said, like, if you get a puppy, you need to be real careful and make sure and be sending the correct, the correct information to the dog. In other words, if somebody in the family is like doing baby talk and stuff to a dog, it can really mess up a dog. There's, like I said, everybody here can do this. And, Gus has this fear of like, objects, doing reverse retrieves, but to make the dog better, it's important that he does do this. And that's the approach that I take with all dogs. Like if there is any dog that has an irrational fear, you're going to do it, dog. Because if you have a dog like this and you just like let them, see, he's doing this. This is rewarding. This is very rewarding to me to get the dog to the point where, they can function doing something that they were afraid of. Now, that doesn't mean we go over to the seesaw right now because that would not go well. So right now I'm going to start training the dog to go up an incline. And before this, I had done an incline of just the frying pan. And then I'm like, well, he was doing that, so I'm going to make him do this. See, he doesn't want to do this. That doesn't mean that he's going to get away with not doing it. He's going to do it. Now, I would have the option, if it continued, to take it back lower to just the frying pan. But, he already did the frying pan, so now we're headed upwards. Now, you see, he's still not doing it, so I'm taking him up higher so he can put his feet on and see that it's really no big deal, but he's still, like, jumping off. Now, what we end up doing is, like, taking him from this end down, I believe. And, that's the thing about dog training is you have to sort of, like, go with the flow. If you think the dog's going to do it, we just want him to do it. So there you go. So that is success. That's success. And I can say that's good boy. That's good boy. So now we're going to try it, though. He still doesn't want to go up the incline. But he's going to have to go up the incline. See, now I have him. Yeah, and I'm telling him good boy. See, it's no big deal. That's the deal. Like, you have to work with the dog so that they understand. Like, if you're telling them to do it, there's nothing to be afraid of. You have to, ride the fine line of, like, you're going to do it. You can't use a lot of pressure, You just have to get them to start doing it. So with a dog like us, who's big, it can be difficult at times, because he's, pull you around and stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the frying pan out, and I'm just gonna use the crate, and that will make it more stable. On the other end, I have like a cut milk crate, which is like 3 inches or something. So I want him to do this. He has to start doing this. And so there he goes. He does it. And that's success. So we're not going to even worry about him walking up the plank that much. If we can get him to go, we know that he can do it in reverse. We can get him to walk up the plank too. So he got off the plank, so I made him get back on. If you look at his tail now, you're sort of seeing a different thing. See, he's getting much more confident about it. I love this dog. It's typical Labrador. In a lot of respects, he's a typical Labrador. He has a big baby. There's no reason that he couldn't have done the seesaw. He just couldn't. He can't. You can't force the dog to do the seesaw. So that at a point you can force him, but when there's too much, the dog's too stressed out, you cannot, you can't do it because the dog will shut down. So I'm putting it like this, just to add in a little bit, but I think that this doesn't go well. It sort of makes the board move maybe, but it doesn't matter because we're getting success there you go. So now that was a setback, but because he's already done it, I put the milk crate on the proper way on top of the cut milk crate on top of the other milk crate, and I'm going to make him do it, because by backing away at this point I'd be sending the wrong message to Gus. So he's going to do it. He has to do it. Walk him up there and being, all right, there you go. So now we are building on success here with Gus. I'm going to have him go back down. See, resistance still. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Dogs like this, it's like any new thing and they start shutting down. But because the dog shuts down, that doesn't mean that the dog can't learn. You just have to spend a little extra time with the dog and have a little extra patience. That's it. Now he's sort of like, I could tell he was like, oh, fuck this, I'm not doing this. But so I called him back. I'm like, get back here, Gus. I'm gonna add in. I'm gonna take that out, and then I'm gonna put in this milk crate, because we need to get him to the height that the seesaw fulcrum's at least, and we end up going a little bit higher. I know he can do it. There isn't anything that any dog can't learn. All dogs can learn the same things within reason. You might not want to use a bulldog doing a lot of retrieves or frisbee. That would be your example. A bulldog wouldn't be appropriate for frisbee, but a bulldog could do a retrieve, definitely. But jumping off the ground, that would be ridiculous. Cocker Spaniel, not really good at frisbee. That's not really a preferred dog to do frisbee. But, in varying degrees, all dogs do the same stuff. As long as you're training the dog to do something natural, it's fine. If it's unnatural, that would constitute abuse. So right here, see what we're going to do. We're going to go back because I know that it was easier to get him to go down the plank. I'm adding in a tire, and I'm going to see if I can get him to jump up there. And this isn't going to be easy, but he's going to do it. We do get him to do this. See? Listen to my tone. I'm not, he's backing away a little bit, but I'm gonna do something else to help him, and I'm gonna put another tire on there, and there you go. We got another tire on there. We wanted to make it as easy for the dog as possible, But on the same hand, we're not, if the dog's having trouble, I'm not necessarily letting the dog back away from it. The whole thing of it here is that, like, making these steps, I'm making it more possible for the dog to do it with less stress. But if the dog has some stress at first doing this, that's not the worst thing. The worst thing would be if I just let the dog get away with not doing it. And that would be a horrible situation, because the dog learns that, if it becomes unstable, that it's effective, that, and then so you end up with, like, see, he's going down it. He's going down it. That's 2 milk crates high. So by doing that, you're just making your dog more unstable. Some situations, like we can't force the dog to go up the seesaw. It's just too much at this point. So we're using this plank to teach the dog. It's a more stable item. There, it falls off, but it's a more stable item than the seesaw. The seesaw is going to be more difficult. So we're making it easier for the dog to have success, because you have to build on success. So building the steps with the tires, and then having him go down the plank and get him used to the going down the plank is going to be more effective than having him just go up the plank. So we repeat this process until I see that Gus is, look at his tail. He's into it now. So I see that he's into it. Now, sometimes you'll see the dog he's still, like, becomes unstable. I'm not going to do this. They go back to their old ways. But this is extremely important, that this dog masters something that, there's no reason why he can't. You have to be careful with the message that you send to the dog, especially when they're puppies. If you send the message that, the dog's frightened or something, and you baby talk the dog, you're going to end up with, like, a dog that is unstable and, for lack of a better term, seems to go into a fear state. Now, I don't even like to use the term fear state. I just refer to it as, like, an excited state, where the dog can't function. He sort of shuts down. So when you see your dog do this, it becomes excited. Remember, excitement is the point all dogs make a mistake. They bark, lunge, bite, or just don't listen. So I'm trying to explain to the dog here that, like, I'm telling him to do it. See, I'm encouraging him to, like, step up there. I'm encouraging him to do it, but I'm also, on the same hand, I'm not, like, baby talking him. And when he does complete it, like, look, I'm telling him, like, good boy, Gus. So he gets his positive reinforcement. He knows that this is something that I want him to do. And, the dog should understand that if I'm telling him to do it, that they should have confidence in me. He's unconfident, so he should have at least confidence in me, that I know that what I'm doing, and I'm not going to tell him to do anything that's going to get him hurt. So right now we're at 3 milk crates high, and that is about the height of the seesaw, where the fulcrum is. So I need him to do that. It's actually a little bit higher. You see, we're getting a little bit of refusal. That's fine, because I know I can get him to do this. Doesn't matter. The dog is e-collar conditioned, and I'm going to bring out the e-collar. And if he gives me a refusal, I will use the e-collar, which is what I did, and we got compliancy. And if you noticed, he's totally into it. Once I told him, I gave him a correction and said, no, you do it. He wants to be, the dogs want to be told what to do. It makes it, look at him, he's running up the plank now. Dogs want to be told what to do. The dog that you just allow to do whatever, it makes them unhappy. It makes them unstable, because what you look at it this way, like the person that works in the mailroom doesn't have a lot of stress, but the CEO of the company probably has more stress. There's more riding on the CEO than the person in the mailroom. So think of your dog as the person in the mailroom. Or a Marine. You give the dog direction, you tell the dog to do it, and make it clear that you know what you're talking about. You know how it's supposed to be. Follow my direction, dog, and everything's going to be good. The dog that is allowed to just do whatever and go into that state of like, maybe I'm in charge. You know, I don't want to start bringing out dog whisper terms, but it is a subspecies of a wolf, so they have a tendency to go into that. That does not make for a happy dog. It makes for a very unstable dog that might start barking, biting, or lunging. So you want to make sure that the dog, it's very clear to the dog that you are in charge. And look at Gus walking the plank now. He's walking more than three milk crates high. That's awesome. He's doing this. You know, and we even had him going back the other way. You don't see this, but we're going to the seesaw now. Now this is very important because you are going to see a dog that is giving me a refusal here. Clearly, it's giving me a refusal. He doesn't want to do it. But I made the decision this morning. I'm like, well, you can walk the plank. You're going to be able to do this. And that's exactly the approach that I'm taking, is you are going to do this, Gus. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So he does it. He's at the fulcrum. He jumps off. Not a problem. This is not a problem whatsoever. It is just a very short time before the dog actually masters this. And it doesn't go, it's not seamless. It's not seamless, but you're talking about a matter of minutes. And if I would have, look at him, he's fighting this. He said, no, he doesn't want to do this. If I would have said, oh, he doesn't want to do it, poor baby, he would have never learned to do this, and it would have made the dog worse. It would have totally made the dog worse. Giving in to a dog is not helpful. There is no reason that the dog can't learn to do this. So I'm going to be consistent here, and I'm going to make sure that he does it. Now, he's at the fulcrum. He's walking up this where before he wouldn't walk up it. So he's right at the point where the fulcrum is. He tips it, and he jumps off again. I'm not worried about this. I know at this point, see, most of the time he'll just walk up it without too much of a refusal. So watch when I get him up here. He starts, he's walking. I grab the plank, and I'm not going to let the plank go. I'm going to help the plank go down so that it's easier on Gus, right? So the plank is down, and now I'm encouraging him to walk. This is helping him learn the point of the fulcrum. And you're looking at another few minutes to where this dog really masters this. This dog masters it in this session. This is in real time. So you can see right now he still doesn't totally get it, but he's sort of like resigning himself to the fact of like, yeah, he's telling me to do this, I have to do it. So I'm going to grab the plank again. He jumped off, not a problem. Not a problem. It's not always going to go seamless. If I showed you all a video of him just doing the seesaw or teeter-totter, that's not going to be helpful. There's so many dogs like this out there that like you might have to spend some extra time with the dog, but it's well worth it. This is totally satisfying to me as a dog trainer, working with a dog that like is afraid. He's afraid of shit, and getting the dog to be unafraid. I feel good about this. So I'm going to help him again. So that is the one that I'm like, well, that was pretty successful, Gus. Good job. So you can sort of see his body language. He sort of like walked back, sort of like, yeah, I think I got it. Now he's giving me a little refusal, but see how he goes right back up on the seesaw?
Come on, man.
Now same thing. I'm going to sort of walk him to the fulcrum. He jumps off. He jumps off, but it's not a problem. He's figuring this out. He does this better than all the dogs, even the cattle dogs that are fearless, because Gus has figured out where the fulcrum is. So he can walk up to the fulcrum, tip it down, and then just walk down real slow.
It's close, dude. Come on, you almost got it.
So this, right at this point, I'm like going, this is successful, even though it looks shitty. I'm like, he's going to end up doing this, and he's going to end up doing this good. So you see, he's sort of like reluctant. He jumped off, but then he's right back on. Once again, he just sort of like jumps off right at the fulcrum. Gus is going to try it again. I think that I grabbed the plank again.
Go slow.
Let's see. Now, see, he's getting a little bit of refusal, but see, he's already been up there several times, so I know he's just going back to what he knows, and that's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to grab the plank. I'm going to build on success here. I'm going to bring the plank down and then walk him down the plank. Right, this is real good because look at him. He walked down real slow.
Beautiful.
He walked down real slow. I also noticed that I took the plank and I roughened it up. You might want to use something like for a skateboard or a bathroom, like a tub. Like he jumped off again. Don't worry about this. Watch this. This is about to happen. You're gonna see this dog. He figures out the fulcrum. This is a really beautiful video. It's a long video.
Come on, let's go.
Long video, but like if you can wait a few more minutes, you're gonna see this dog. Like you'll see the dog really figure this out. Now right there, that one.
Come on, do it again.
That one I did not help him, but he's sort of like, you could see he's sort of getting this. He's jumping off still, right? But I can see like he's like he'll walk up the plank and then he's right at the fulcrum. He's sort of like jumps off, but I know he's got it. So if I can keep him walking up the plank and going slow, I'm thinking right at this point like maybe I'll go back to the other plank, but I'm like no, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. So walk up to the plank. He's jumping off again. Hang on. So I'm going to walk him up, and then when he gets up there, I'm going to slow him down. I want him to go slow. Right there. See, I'm looking at the other plank. Do we take him over to the other plank for a while?
Come on, let's go.
No, because in another 2 minutes, he masters this. Okay, see that right there? Did you see what he did?
That was it.
That was it. And did you see what I'm doing?
That was it. Come here. That was fucking it. Come here.
There you go. Now he's got this. Watch the rest of this video. He might screw up once or twice, but you'll see. He really figured out, oh, if I get in the middle, right? Now he's up there, he's shaking it a little bit, but he's not barn sour. I might even help him with this. See, I'm gonna have him walk down again, building on success.
Beautiful. Beautiful job. Do it
See
again.
what he does here.
Come on. You're doing it, dude. Nice work, dude. Here, heel.
This is a long session for him. This is probably 12 minutes or something.
No.
No, he's jumping back off. Remember, there's been a lot of muscle memory of him like saying, I'm not doing shit.
Okay, stay right
Look
there.
at him. Look at him. He just did it.
Yes! Yes!
He just did it.
That's it. Good boy.
Did you see the positive reinforcement that I gave him? I was like, you did it, dude. And watch him do it again. The rest of the video is him walking up to the fulcrum, standing in the middle, calmly tipping it. And that's key. He's calm about this. He's totally calm about this. Tips it, and then walks down. Watch him. Watch him do this.
Okay, then let it go.
He's got it.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm so happy at this point. He's done it several times. Once a dog does it 2 or 3 times, I know he's got it. Look at his tail. I'm like, come on, buddy, let's do it.
Come on. No.
Let's do it one more time, and he's not jumping off. Do you notice how he stopped jumping off? He's got it.
Dude. Nice
Dogs
job, man.
want to make you happy. That's why you do not have to use food. You don't have to use food. You can use praise. They want to please the owner. I'm not the owner, but they want to please the person, the human that they're working with, and he knows that he's doing something great.
You got it.
You know?
Don't run at the
Don't use food. Using food for this kind of stuff, using food for any of the commands or anything is just nonsense. It's not necessary. You can do anything that the dog likes. You can use anything. Like you can use a seesaw, you can running, going through a door is positive reinforcement. That's why you have to be careful. So it's so short-sighted to use food as positive reinforcement.
Come here, buddy.
People just don't get it. You know, they only see it as, oh, we're going to use food. Okay, so here's a side view of him doing it. Watch this. Watch this. This is a beautiful dog.
Right there.
See, he's right at the fulcrum. I'm telling him to walk
a
slow.
little further. Come on.
Watch what he does. He's got it. That's my boy. Notice the positive reinforcement. I'm telling him that he's a good boy. It's very good. So there you go. That's Gus.